Hey everyone, Delphi Group here with our weekly Tuesday market report. Thanks for being here. We're going to get into it. This week we are kind of wrapping in our trading recap since it is the end of the quarter today, the end of the month, the end of the quarter. So we're kind of wrapping everything up into one video. Not going to spend a lot of time on it, but there are some amazing things that have been happening here at Delphi, and especially with our Tuesday targets. Okay, all our targets are hitting, which we're going to get into with our bonus plays, some other stocks we cautioned on last week. So first things first, here we are with the SPY daily chart. You can see our forecast from last week has hit right there, per the usual. So our forecast there has hit. And now what's going on? Well, we put out our weekend report for our members this past weekend, which was here. This is Friday's candle. We said we were leaning bullish and we were looking for a move higher. Well, lo and behold, we have moved higher. So that forecast for our members in the community has worked and panned out. So what are we seeing here now on the daily chart? We have a bullish engulfing candle on slightly higher volume. And we are going to be leaning to go a little higher here, but you need to be careful when you see bullish engulfing candles at tops, okay? Because 80% of the time, bullish engulfing candles work out, but that leaves 20% where they don't. And that 20% normally leads to bullish engulfing candles when you see them at tops as opposed to bottoms, okay? So we are going to go a little higher, maybe to test the all-time highs here on some momentum, but we're not going to get too crazy here, okay? We could chop around up here for a while until we get into the end of the year, November, which tends to be bullish for markets. But if we look at the monthly chart, okay, I'm not going to look at all the monthly charts because they all look the same. Okay, we can see here what's going on in the monthly. Okay, we have closed with a very bullish candle right at the highs of the month. Okay, and if we look below, the volume now is going higher. So you always have to remember price and volume trumps the indicators below, which are right now overbought. Okay, so the monthly chart is pointing to a continuation higher. So that is what you need to look for in the monthly chart as long as the volume goes up. Now, if we start to see a volume drop and maybe a red candle, okay, kind of what happened back here, we saw the volume drop back here, red candle, and then a bearish candle there. I'm sorry, red volume bar and a bearish candle. What happened? We went down for 2 months. Okay, so you can stay long until you start to see the volume changing and maybe a bearish candle appear. But for now, the monthly charts across the board all point to the same thing. Okay, so let's get into the Qs. Since we're here on the monthly chart, you can see the Qs very bullish candle, volume going up. Okay, so that is the same. But if we go to the daily chart on the Qs, again, you can see our forecast from last week has hit. We were looking for lower, and it did hit. And again, we told the community over the weekend we were looking for a bounce. So again, we have a bullish engulfing candle here on the Qs, but on lower volume. Okay, but we are still going to go a little higher here on this bullish candle. Again, not crazy. Maybe back to this high here, up a couple of points. It may go for the all-time high, but we'll have to see. For now, we're going higher a little bit. Okay, IWM. Okay, not a bullish engulfing candle, but it did close above the 20-day moving average. It's kind of in this resistance or support gray area here, higher volume. Okay, so we will go a little higher on the IWM as well, maybe right up towards that top of that shaded area. Nothing great. Now, it could go for the all-time high. We don't know. But again, the indicators are moving lower, but we are still going to go a little higher on the IWM, okay? So before we get into the other stocks we want to look at real quick, that we talked about last week. Let's go back to last week's call, spend a couple minutes and see what we said about these stocks and our targets, our forecasts, and which ones to watch out for and be cautious about. First things first, we're probably going to get more momentum tomorrow because look at the volume going up on the way down. So we are looking maybe for a continued move lower, maybe down to this 215 level. It doesn't mean we're going to stay in the trade to fill that gap, but something to watch on Amazon here, okay, because we do think we will see continued move lower. Out of all the big name stocks, this looks the worst, okay? And one other name we're going to look at is QS, okay, Quantum Space. We recently had a trade here on calls off the UOA, which we did really well on. But this is starting to look toppy here. Excuse me, on QS. Okay, we can see we have, again, stale green light, volume going down, CCI now heading lower, stochastic way overbought and looking to head lower. So there is going to be a resistance here at this previous high. So contingent on a pivot, again, a pivot will be a lower high, lower low, which could come tomorrow, actually. We are going to go lower down to the moving averages, which is around 10.50 or so. So that's a $3 drop in a $13 stock. So that could be very, very, a very good percentage trade move. So we're just going to go lower here, kind of mimicking this angle here. Okay, so we are going to go this way, back up, maybe right towards this high here on QS. One thing to remember, though, this is one of these, we're starting to call them meme stocks like in crypto, where these stocks are just kind of going up just relentlessly. Okay, if you look at some other stocks here that you might want to watch out for, OKLO has been in the news a lot. Okay, remember, this is a daily chart. Not too long ago, this was a $60 stock, and now we're nearing, over the 140s. Again, we would not be taking long positions here. Just be very careful. Again, look at the volume. Okay, we have, what is that, 4, 8, 9 straight days. The volume's going down, CCI heading lower. So just be very careful. If the indexes start to go down, taking a breather this next week, I would expect these stocks to really sell off hard and maybe even faster and earlier than the indexes. There's not much support here, so just be careful about this one. Another name is the IONQ, which is in the quantum names. Again, very similar to OKLO. Look at this one. This just recently was at $41, and now we're nearing a 100% move in a very short period of time. We have a bearish hammer there. Again, we do have higher volume today on that bearish hammer. So just be very careful with these names. We know they're just pumping for no reason. But the funny thing is that we actually got into this name over way back when. We were very bullish quantum back down here when it was at $6, $7. So we are not in the name anymore, unfortunately. We wrote it up and actually got out in the high 40s from $7. Because then you can see what happened after that. But just be very careful with these names. There's a lot of hype going on, and at any moment they could pull the rug, and you could easily see this back down at $62. Okay, so here we are back after you guys spent a couple minutes going over what we talked about. I know it was a couple minutes, but again, we covered 4 stocks there, 2 bonus plays, one of which was Amazon. Okay, we can see here what we said about Amazon. We traded Amazon twice for over 100% gains in the community. Again, on this level break. But again, what did we say on the call last week? We said we would not be surprised if Amazon continues lower to the support area. Okay, well, that ended up playing out. That target has hit. And we can also say that Amazon still does not look bullish at all. Okay, while the markets are going higher, Amazon now has pivoted lower. Okay, the averages are going to be a resistance. So you need to be careful with Amazon. It would actually be a good hedge trade against long positions because this chart definitely does not look good. We could be looking at an A, B, C. The C pivot is in now, which usually means a lower D. Okay, so again, Amazon target has hit. We said it would continue to go lower, and it went lower. Okay, the next stock we talked about that we gave as a bonus play is QS. Okay, and you can see here on QS, right here was last week on that set, almost, I would say it's a shooting star. Okay, remember, volume going down on the way up is bearish shooting star. And we have this dotted line in. Why do we have dotted line in? Because we ended up posting a trade for the community on that bearish outlook, and it hit right down to the target. Okay, right to what we said it was going to come down to the averages, and it sure did, and that target has hit. Again, we crushed puts on this trade, and hopefully you guys did as well. Okay, and the next one we are going to look at is OKLO. Okay, this was an absolute monster trade for us in the community. Okay, remember here, we talked about being careful of the stock right here on that green candle. Okay, we took puts here on that bearish candle, and lo and behold, what happened right down to the support area we talked about. Okay, we crushed, absolutely crushed, which we'll get to, puts here. I believe there were 500% winners on these puts on OKLO. So hopefully either you were long it and you cashed out, or you didn't take calls, or you took puts and made some monster profits on OKLO. Okay, and finally, the other one we talked about to be careful on was IONQ. And again, right here we said to be careful on this green candle right there at the top. And then this not only hit our $62 target, but has now exceeded that target. Okay, again, we took a trade here on puts and crushed it for the community. So hopefully you guys did too, watching our weekly market reports, which continue to crush it. Okay, and again, if you want to look at how we did, again, for the quarter and on some of those trades, we can jump into the Delphi room here, into our Discord. And again, this is where we post all our performance. Again, all our trades are posted and journalized. And if we go here, just really look here real quick, and you can see here some of these trades that we just talked about. QS, we picked up about 60% winner there. OKLO, we cashed out here for just a complete rocket ship game. Look at that, over 500% on OKLO. Amazon, again, we talked about Amazon, over 100% there. And you can see all the green and all the trades we took here. And again, those are the ones we talked about last week. So again, hopefully you guys took those and did well again. But again, the end of Q3 is today. So looking at our quarter performance, this is off the Delphi signal strictly. Again, amazing quarter, over 12%. Crazy trade win percentage, 76%, going 13-4. Profit factor off the charts, and our day win rate almost 80%, just off of the Delphi signal. Okay, and then all our other trades combined, I mean, no words for this, just simply incredible. 91, almost 92% for the third quarter for all of our trades here at Delphi. Again, crazy profit factor and day win rate. Okay, so again, this is what we do here. And we're not only about options trading, we do have other things. And so huge shout out to Leviathan here in our crypto channel, who just continues to crush it. If we go back towards the middle of the month, you can see what he does. He posts all his trades for the community before he jumps into the trade himself. Okay, so he's posting what he's going to take ahead of time. These are all limit orders here. And then he jumps in. And you're going to see here, just scrolling down, a ton of green. No words for what he does. He is simply the best crypto trader we have ever come across. The guy is simply incredible. Look at some of these gains here. I mean, just no words. And we are so thankful. Look at this, ETH, 322%. Monster explosion on this trade. I mean, No words for this one. Okay, so again, just nothing but green. Again, ETH again, 387%. So he just continues to crush it here for the community on his crypto trades. Again, ETH again, 171%. So again, we are more than options trading. We have educational channels. And lo and behold, our UOA channel, last but not least, this just happened today. We're going to talk about this again next week, but we just simply have to point this out. Okay, nobody in the world does what we do here at Delphi, especially when it comes to option flows. Okay, we go through hundreds and hundreds of option flows every day, and we parse out the relative ones that may be great trade opportunities for our community right here in our UOA channel. Again, unusual options activity. And this may seem crazy, but we see this on a weekly basis. Look at CoreWeave. Somebody came in at the end of the day yesterday. Okay, they bought these CoreWeave calls that expire this week, mind you. Okay, we're not going to look at the 130s. Well, you'll know what the 130s did after we show you what happened here. But look at this. They came in, they bought 6,000 of these $136 calls. Mind you, that expired this week. The stock, CoreWeave, was at $123. Okay, they bought the 130s. Okay, but they bought these for 91 cents. Okay, does that seem kind of odd to you that they would do that? They would go out $13 out of the money with literally 3 or 4 days left to expiration. But why does that seem odd, and why does that not surprise us here at Delphi? This is why. Look what happened today. News comes out. CoreWeave Inc.'s $14 billion meta deal. Okay, is that a coincidence? Somebody came in late yesterday, bought those way out of the money calls for 91 cents. That today did 10x move over 985. Just look at this complete explosion, rocket ship, whatever you want to call it. Again, we posted those at 91 cents. They got as high as 985 this morning, over a 10x gain. Okay, nobody's doing this anywhere. That's why we're telling you. Please like, subscribe, get the word out. Tell people that we're here. We're doing nothing but printing money here all year. Nobody comes close. We implore you to bring whoever you want here to compare them to us. It's not even close, okay, with what we're doing here at Delphi. So again, that's it from us. Hope you guys have a great week. As we enter October, we're looking for big things, and especially in crypto, we'll highlight some crypto stuff next week as we think some things very, very big could be happening with crypto. So that's it from us. Have a great week. Good luck trading, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.